order another book from another library. Maybe the other library didn't have it, and you had to like actually go save some money and pay for the shit, somehow. But like, just like the simple act of like having to read, a real actual book. I think it was rather important because like, because I'm not explaining myself correct, but like, because during the time that you're actually having to like scan through it with your eyes and like turn the page, you'd be thinking about other things, trying to correlate and put other thoughts together. You know what I mean? Other piece of information.
Well, I think you have to actually survey the whole. Like basically, the more you know, the better off you are. And so you have to sort of survey the whole canvas of what's going on. And a lot of the videos and things that you'll see from certain guys that just jump in that are say 25 or something like that, they just sort of have an incomplete analysis. So really all I can recommend is just try to broaden your horizons and just try to look at the overall canvas. And it just, you can never really know enough. You just have to keep studying as much as possible.
Okay, but like, another thing about conspiracy community, haven't you noticed it's become really, really fucking specialized? I mean, like, before, you could like, reasonably, within like a couple of years, you could learn every single conspiracy theory out there and know it down its pat, 100%, know everything about it. Now, yeah, just to like get within those, I still tell people it'll take you 2 years to figure out what you're doing, is just to get like a glance at like a little bit of general summation of every little thing that exists out there. I mean, it's really, really become specialized, and I've noticed like these different parts of conspiracy community, they don't talk to each other or they don't mix. You know what I mean, man? There's like no sharing information between it, which would be rather useful.
How do I respond to that? Can you paraphrase that in some
like
regard?
This, make it more specific. Like the Black Popers, maybe they might be Black Popery stupid, but maybe they might come across. Maybe they're gonna have like, maybe they're gonna have like they found some information about Freemasonry, and then like maybe the UFO people will take that information about Freemasonry and then mix it with something they found out about the military, and then like maybe the New Agers will see that the military thing that they got and like see how does it relate to like mind control, and then the mind control, the people looking after Satanists might take that.
There's a lot of lying that goes on. That's actually one of the big things about conspiracy theory, and I kind of think that what is really actually happening in the world is there's sort of a conventional government religious viewpoint, and then there is sort of the Gnostic Freemason satanic sort of based viewpoint, and the alternative view wants to take over the world. And so they actually have applied themselves to a lot of lying, I think. So you get like a lot of stuff that just outright lies. And it would be sort of like the Alex Jones thing would probably be a pretty good indicator, because as you're saying, his dad is a Freemason. He probably would have gone to Bohemian Grove to try to get the real idiots that are there to just like cool it, because their parties were getting like moronic. But Alex Jones types, I remember he was going off on saying that they're going to cut off the internet. And he was using to justify that is he's saying, okay, the IP4 system of numbers, which is just a string of numbers, will eventually be expanded to a 6-digit string. And
no, not 6 digits, 64-bit.
A 64-bit, sorry, IPv6. My mistake. But basically, it will just be expand or just changing the basically the length of the phone number. And then he's using this to try to say, well, when we go for this change, you will have no more freedom. And the government will shut down the internet, and you'll only be allowed to like use a few. So basically, what he would do is he would just go into these ridiculous disinfo lie barrages, and this basically is buffering up sort of a competing worldview. And so I really think that in the world is the traditional religious view, which tries to kind of like govern and circulate, has got this pothead kind of community that's just, I mean, an insane pothead community. I mean, like people that are like maximum profit for minimum effort. There's like really a satanic rogue element that is in fact malicious, causing huge problems.
Hey, there's like one thing, part of the conspiracy community I don't really consider a conspiracy theorist. Maybe you might, because, I consider you like elder statesman. Like, what do you think, what's your opinion about people? Do you consider people who like take mushrooms and like ayahuasca and like, drugs, hallucinated drugs to be conspiracy theorists? Because they act like they are, they say like, today I had a trip. And like, I didn't just go to like the fifth plane of existence. I moved on to third planet of like Orion and all this stuff. I met the beautiful woman and all. Like they write this crazy shit, dude. I mean, I don't think that fucking has anything to do with conspiracy theory. Maybe I'm just getting old and like bitter and hard to like accept new things. I don't know, man.
Well, you mean the conspiracy potheads?
Yeah.
All of that stuff, all that shamanic stuff, Terence McKenna stuff is, to a certain extent, it's fine, but it's not really the answer. It's like these guys are looking for a miracle, and they're basically trying to say, well, shrooms are gonna like change the world. And then it's sort of might give you some insights. It's kind of poisonous. It might be kind of good for a temporary party. But if you want to change the world has to be changed from a logistical standpoint. And that means that people need to have food, clothing, and shelter. They don't need to be high on pot and stuff. I'm pretty liberal about drugs. I think people should sort of be able to do their drugs, but I don't think that we should consider it to be health food. And I think that people that do drugs should just realize that it's limited, and they should probably kind of rest up, because it just gets stupid where these guys write books and say, well, the whole like solution is like everybody needs to do like mushrooms, and like if only we poisoned ourselves more, we would have peace and love and joy. It just
I'm sick of these idiots, dude. I mean, like, let me tell you, man, if you're a drug addict, I mean, you're basically helping the Illuminati, okay? I mean, the New World Order wants you to be on drugs. They want your mind to be fucked up so that you don't notice, like, all this shit happening around you.
Yeah, so the Old World Order is like traditional religion and traditional government. The New World Order is like the Illuminati, which is Freemasonry and Rosicrucianism, that basically wants to sell drugs and make maximum profit. So it's basically, you've got this upstart sort of section, this upstart kind of mentality of people that say, hey, let's wheel and deal. It's basically, they're like wheelers and dealers. They're a bunch of drug salesmen. And they basically want to say, hey, our view is the better view, now we should take over. And they don't realize that if they ever do take over, they need first some sort of moral foundation. They don't have any. The Illuminati has no moral foundation of any kind whatsoever that I can detect. And then if they do take over, they'll find out that the real world just simply has a bunch of screaming people that need food, clothing, and shelter. So we're talking about a fringe group. I hate everything about this Illuminati junk. They do identify themselves in the Rosicrucian Manual. If you look that up, the old Rosicrucian Manual, yes, they will identify themselves as literally by the term as Illuminati in there. And in the Rosicrucian degrees, they do use the word Illuminati. So if you're looking for the Illuminati, look for a Rosicrucianism, which is a little bit more philosophical than the gang of mafia, which would be the Freemasons.
Man, let's talk about Freemasonry, because like I met Rosicrucians in real life. I mean, like, and that's like what Freemasonry spawned from. I'll tell you the truth, man. Like, I talk shit about like Gnostics and Rosicrucians, but when you meet the motherfuckers in real life, they're actually pretty nice and they're very open, man. They'll tell you fucking everything. They ain't got no fucking secrets, really. Not like the fucking Freemasons, dude. I mean, you told me you went to a Rosicrucian church or some shit, right?
Well, I would just attend the local place here. I did for a while, and then I got in a dispute with them because I went broke. And then I asked them for permission. I said, "Hey, I'm studying this new thing. I can't pay my dues. Can I at least kind of just show up for, like, they have a little temple thing, right? Where it's sort of like a mass, like a church mass." And I just said, well, maybe I could just temporarily go to this thing and try to talk to some people and learn more. They said, "No, pay your dues." And I said, holy crap. It's like, I can go to a church and they're not going to try to extort money. They're not going to ransom me. They're not going to turn me away if I can't pay my dues. So that's kind of how I decided that I wasn't interested in that train of thought. And then the Freemason kind of thing is terrible because they want to rule the world. They're never going to rule the world, and then they resent people for life because if you simply for the crime of not liking them.
Mm-hmm. I know.
If you don't like them, they we have to kill you.
Again, after reminding people, he has a new YouTube account. It's Honesty.org, HONESTY.org. If you do a search on YouTube, you'll be able to find. Also, follow him on Twitter, same name, and he's on Facebook too.
I'll have to put some stuff up here now. My executive producer has. You see, I thought that I should probably be obscure because I talk about these just awful moral issues, and this really bums people out. So I kind of thought that maybe there wasn't really any market, that I shouldn't actually even start making contacts because I don't really need the flack from people, right? Until the economic crash hits. Once we have an economic crash, then people might say we were wrong. They're like, hey, maybe the greed binge was wrong, right? Maybe the reality TV binge was wrong, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet because $14.5 trillion. Well, that can be raised. We can raise the limit. That's only like $45,000 per person just in government debt.
Going back to Freemasonry, it's time for us for, a ritual where we badmouth Freemasonry. Freemasonry is extremely homosexual. I mean, we had a discussion concerning this. I mean, if you look at any all-male organization, you're you're always gonna have an issue with the homosexuality. But in Freemasonry, man, it's like these people. From everything I've studied, like every promoter within the homosexual movement was a Freemason, and and Jewish. But I mean, and then I know, people are going to say like, oh, Joe, you and Ticker are full of shit. Hey, assholes. Even within British Freemasonry, the only requirement is that, you believe in some deity. They don't, there's no rule against homosexuals joining, okay? And actually they like it. Because if you ain't that way, you will be after being a Freemason long enough. Ticker, man. Concerning this, dude, we both know, maybe it's not patently stated in Scottish Rite, York Rite, but concerning British Freemasonry, but you would agree there are homosexual rituals within Freemasonry at the higher levels.
So I have heard. Fortunately, my days with all those people, that was 1993, I think it ended in, and I was just sort of lowest level. And I just got out of there. I got out of there before I could get into any of the amorous, I wasn't ever
brotherly
really that
love.
Friendly. Yeah, I wasn't really interested in the brotherly love thing. I think that these guys are actually searching for love in all the wrong places or something. There are people that do that, and to some extent they have the right to do that, I guess. It's kind of weird, but I think they should leave those of us that aren't actually gay out of it. And it's sort of people get really offended when they say, hey, don't say anything about a gay, and don't well, just can they leave us alone? Because they basically, these guys in these weird groups seem to be trying to practice sort of assault on the rest of us, which is not something I appreciate.
Let's give them a concrete example. Like I said, it's not like Scottish Rite, York Rite. I'm talking about there's many more appendages to this Masonic.